Star Wars is a franchise that keeps on growing, with 48 years of content. There's some good, some bad, and some mid stuff that I want to rank in this video. But before we get into anything with the ranking, I just want to say, most likely, your favorite movie, your favorite show, your favorite project that has ever come out of Star Wars may not be top 3, top 5, or top 10. It may not be any of that, and I apologize. As time goes on, Star Wars is getting much, much bigger, and because of that, there's a lot of stuff to rank, and not everything good can be put into top 10. I apologize, I know, I'm gonna get people saying like, oh, why isn't this in top 3, why isn't this in top 10? It's just, this is all my opinion, my thoughts. This ranking is not the ranking. This is just my opinion. You're gonna have different opinions, I understand that. So, just keep that in mind, because there's probably some rankings, some certain spots that you don't agree with, me disagree. I don't know, but with that out of the way, I think one thing we all agree on is what last place is. Last place is a holiday special, and oh my god, I've talked about this way too much. I don't know what to say about this anymore. I guess the only good thing that came out of this, well, actually two things, is the holiday special, like the actual like Life Day, like holiday is the only good thing, and also Boba Fett was introducing this, but everything else is just terrible. Don't watch this. Just don't watch this. 39th place is Droids, the animated show, and I actually moved this down a couple places because I hate this show more and more. But only realize second to last because at least there's a little bit of action going along and that sort of thing, but not a lot. It's there. But it's just I hate Droids so much. I hate this thing so much. It is so bad. And I blame Ronald Reagan for that. 38th place, we have Ewoks, Caravan of Courage, and this should have been a half-hour special, but nope, it's an hour and a half long, it's stretched out. The only thing you can kind of say is good is just it's the concept of kids trying to find their parents on Endor. I guess that's a cool concept. I wish it was done properly in something else. It probably is done something else, non-Star Wars related. I mean, it probably is. This is just not like an original concept. But that's the only interesting thing going on for it. It's a concept. But everything else is so stretched out, boring, and just it's not a fun watch. 37th place we have Ewoks, Battle for Endor. And this is a better sequel. This is better than, their first movie, but not by a lot, still a bad movie. If you were to come up with me and say that this is your guilty pleasure movie, like you like watching this, I don't blame you. It's not completely unwatchable, but like it's still a bad movie, so it's very odd. You have to I think you have to grow up with this in order to actually like this. 36th place we have Ewoks, the show, the animated show, and I like that the first half of this show is kind of good, but then it just kind of turns into crap. And this is basically the Smurfs. In Star Wars, I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over again because there's nothing to say about this. Like, these bomb spots, there's nothing to say. Like, the show, if this was made today, probably been great. But because it was made in the 80s, it had to follow the cliches of the 80s, and it's just a reskin of every 80s show that has children characters in it. It's just not original. It's just not. I guess it has the same vibe, and it's just. I guess it's just nostalgic, but it's not. It's just some episodes are good, but it's just most of them are just crap. 35th place we have Forces of Destiny, and you probably forgot about the show completely. I understand. This is one of the most forgettable things that has ever come out. And it's a show that's meant to advertise to little girls about these toys for the females of Star Wars, and there's a bunch of shorts, and some of them are cool, but a lot of them kind of just exist, and that's really it. 34th place is Young Jedi Adventurers, a preschool show. I think that this show is kind of underrated if you're a parent, because if you want to show your kids Star Wars, is a good thing to show them. It's a very colorful, bright show that I think has a lot of cliches, but for the audience that's trying to apply to, the preschoolers, I don't think they're gonna care. As an adult watching this, it's a very cliched show. It's a lot of things that you've seen before in other medias in the Star Wars stuff, and even just outside of movie stuff. It shows a lot of things that you've seen a million times before. But it's a cool show. It's a cute little show. So I can't really complain about it. Third place we have Resistance, which it's a show that kind of got the short end of the stick by Disney. It's a show that could have been really, really good, but because of the circumstances, it just fell short. It was on Disney. It was on Disney Channel. It took place in the Sequel trilogy, so in terms of the story I was trying to tell, it couldn't really do all that much. And the show itself is just, it's whatever. Like, while I was watching it, I remember being like, I wish I was watching the other animated shows. That's how much I didn't want to watch this. Also, animation isn't, I mean, at first looks ugly, but you get used to it. But the show isn't that really great or spectacular, but it could be. There's a lot of potential here, but it's just, outside forces made the show bad. 32nd place, we have The Acolyte, and oh boy, this got moved down a little bit from the last, ranking, because I just don't like The Acolyte. There's things I like about it, like conceptually, I think The Acolyte is a cool show, but in execution, it's a really bad show, where when you watch it, I don't feel like I'm really watching Star Wars, really. I feel like I'm watching something else, and that's not good. Out of all the Disney Plus shows, this is the worst, and I know there's 3 people who actually love the show are gonna be really mad at me, but me putting it down this low, some people may say that's generous for me to do, but The Acolyte is not a good show, because the entire point is that it's a mystery show, but the mystery gets resolved, like in episode 2. It becomes a completely different thing. I understand what the show's trying to do, but it failed miserably. A better, smarter person could have written the show and it could have turned out better. 31st place, we have the Clone Wars animated movie from all the way back from 2008. That movie. And this movie is not... It shouldn't have been a movie in the first place. This is just the first 4 episodes of Season 1 of the Clone Wars. I really like Season 1 of the Clone Wars. But combining the first 4 episodes together for a movie, a theatrical movie by the way, was not a good move to start this show off. I understand what George Lucas was trying to do, trying to advertise it, trying to promote it, but it just did not work. The movie drags on a lot, but knowing this is just the first 4 episodes, it makes it less unwatchable, but at the same time, it's just, like, it's not that bad. Like if you're a fan of the show, like, after you watch the show, like, like, ironically, you're supposed to watch this first, but watching this last, after you watch the Clone Wars, makes it better, because you understand what the show's trying to do. Like, you understand the characters, like, the vibe and tone. Like, it's just, that's, like, it's very ironic. Like, it becomes better watching it if you're a fan of the show, rather than someone who has never seen the show before. But the whole point in the movie is for people who've never seen the show. It's like a first introduction, but it doesn't do a good job at that. So it does the exact opposite, but the intentions were the opposite. So it's a mess. But as a Clone Wars fan, it's enjoyable, but as a newcomer, it's terrible. 30th place, we have Rise of Skywalker. This is an embarrassment of a finale for the Skywalker saga, and that's just inexcusable. It really is. In saying that, what this movie is going is that Rey, Finn, and Poe are a good trio, and the action scenes are good, and also the music's good, but the last 2, in saying that, it's kind of a given. The rest of the movie kind of just sucks. It's not unwatchable. It's disappointing. That's why I can describe the Rise of Skywalker. It's just very, very disappointing how the trilogy was not planned out, and so this was the result of it. 29th, we have EA Star Wars Battlefront 2. This campaign should have been really good. It wasn't, because the first couple of missions were really, really good, and sometimes I even do replay them. And that's the only way you can be seeing for gameplay. I guess the background footage right now is just the first couple of missions. Because after that, because Aiden turns from a villain to a good guy, and the story becomes very, very generic. That's not good. That gets very bland. All the missions after that can be very generic. Yeah, like, all the missions that have the original trilogy characters, like Leia, Han, Luke, Lando, and at the end, Kylo Ren, those are the highlights. But everything involving Aiden, after she becomes a good guy and turns to rebels, is very, very generic, and that's such a disappointment, because this campaign could have been very, very interesting. 28th place, we have Squadrons, which is another EA game, But this time, it's not that. It's still. It's just the same. I can't call it bad. I can't call it good. It's just normal. It's fine. It's a safe Star Wars story where the stakes are what you expect. Nothing that grand happens. It's just, if you're someone that's into, the whole like X-wing and starship part of Star Wars, this campaign's for you because it really does lean into that, and it's really cool. If you like this story, that's great. But it's just very, very generic to me, and it's just whatever. 27th place with the Book of Boba Fett. I am not a fan of the show, and that's because the majority of the episodes, there's only 7-episode miniseries, 40 episodes that I don't like, and that's because the show doesn't know what it's trying to be. Because you have Hutt clans coming in, you have all these Pike syndicates, you have bikers, because Boba Fett's trying to like be the new ruler of Tatooine and the criminal underworld, and it's just, there's so many things going on that has no focus. And on top of that, you have the backstory with flashbacks when Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit, and you have that going on, and it's just, you have both those things happening at the same time, and it's just very, very confusing, and just not a lot, it's not focused. If it was more focused, I would appreciate it, but that's not the case. And on top of that, the last 3 episodes are just upheld completely by the Mandalorian. Like episode 6 barely has Boba Fett at all, and I really like the last 3 episodes because Boba Fett's barely in them. And so if the show is more focused, this will be placed higher, but because it's so unfocused, and the show got uprailed by another character, and whenever the title character is on screen, it's better than when he's on screen. 26th place we have Outlaws. What can I say about Outlaws? Because this story is very, very generic, but the thing that has going for it is that the actual story structure of Outlaws is very interesting, where it does have a 3-act structure, where the first act, you're with different characters. Like, once you get to the first planet, you're with different characters, but at the end of the first act, all those characters go away, and introduced to the droid, the commando droid. He doesn't show up until Act 2 of the story, which is very interesting, and I give the story that. But after that point, this entire campaign, the entire story of Outlaws, is a heist movie, or a similar story to that, where if you're watching a heist movie, the way it's set up, you get people, that's exactly how this game plays out, and it's very generic and kind of boring. But because it's a video game, it's not that bad. I don't know how many video games have this heist story in it, but having it in a video game makes it a little bit different. But all the things that you expect, all the betrayals, all the, like just everything that you expect in a heist story, it plays out exactly how it is. 25th place, we have Tales of the Empire. This is at least in my opinion, the worst of all the tales. Mostly, it's due to it not really being that interesting. It's more focused on the lore than actually trying to tell stories. Not that I wouldn't, rewatch this, it's just not, once you watch it once, it's not that interesting to go back to watch it again. But that's not to say it's not watchable again. I do, it's for the lore, it's good. When dreams about actually telling a story, it's not. It's just, here are 2 stories in a short form way, and that's it. 24th place, we have Tales of the Underworld. Similar to Tales of the Empire. This isn't that bad, it's just, as I previously, it's mostly focused on lore, but the only difference is that there is actually potential for, a spin-off, or I guess continuing a side adventurous story, because she got a new Padawan. So, there is potential story, implications for, future shows, or, another thing, whenever she's going to appear next, we can see that other character with her. So that's one thing above Tales of the Empire. At least it has that. 23rd place, we have Ahsoka. This is going to be kind of a controversial take, because there are people that really love the Ahsoka series. But to me, the first 3 episodes are very, very boring. This show starts off so terribly, and that's why it's being placed here. Because the rest of the show, I really like. Like the 4th episode in the 5th episode, my favorite episodes out of the entire series, because it's so good. And I know, with, when I'm recording this, Season 2 isn't out yet, but it's going to come out, and that could bump this up. Probably, I don't know, but, the first 3 episodes are so boring. It's just the rest of the show is good. It's just the beginning of it is so boring, and it was not a good start, and it really brings us down. 22nd place, we have Skeleton Crew. This is actually really interesting to put here. Not because I don't hate the show. I actually really do like the show. I mean, I think that could have been written better, because this is basically just a kid's show. in a live action format, and yeah, people don't like that. And yeah, even to me, like, there are points in the show where I kind of like roll my eyes. Oh, it's just stupid kid stuff. They have to, trick this adult, and it's like, in the actual real Star Wars universe, how that works. Like, the adults are much more smarter than the kids, but because it's a kids-focused show, they have to do that whole entire trope. And a lot of other media, that's fine, but when you're doing it in Star Wars, it doesn't really work like that. But that's so few and far between, because all these child actors are really good in these roles. The character arcs that they go through are great. Jude Law's character, great. Like, everything about this is great. It's just there are moments that, for the fact that genre is going for, it does kind of clash with how the rest of the universe works. But if you would just ignore that, this show is really good. And if you haven't watched Skeleton Crew yet, I recommend it. It's a really good watch. 21st place, we have The Last Jedi. And oh boy, this is probably the most controversial take. Because, like, what do you mean it's this high up? It should be down low at Ruined Star Wars. As a movie, The Last Jedi is visually great, filmed great, directed great. Like from a filmmaking standpoint, this is like a really great movie. It's just it's a bad Star Wars movie because it ruins the franchise, and it fumbled how this entire trilogy worked. It ruined Disney Star Wars. The Last Jedi ruined Disney Star Wars. But Rian Johnson, I give him credit, he made a really good movie in isolation. If you were to ignore everything that Star Wars has to offer and just watch this movie, it's really good. But when you apply the other movies and the other movies in the franchise, it does not work. And so, I appreciate this movie, but it's not a good Star Wars movie. 20th place, we have Kenobi, and similar to The Last Jedi, this show gets a lot of unnecessary hate, but I understand why it gets that hate. But to me, I appreciate the show. Over the course of the years since the show came out, I actually really like the Kenobi show, but at the same time, there's things I don't like. I don't like this as a show. I think it would be much better as a movie, because another thing that when the show started, or in the conception, that I didn't like the idea of Obi-Wan leaving Tatooine. I think he should have stayed on Tatooine. My idea is for this show is to be just him on Tatooine the entire time, but him leaving, I was like, oh, that's bad. Seeing the show, it makes sense. It was written in a way that that's understandable why, and I really like that. I like that he and Vader have a confrontation. I like that. The show is very, very important because it makes Obi-Wan connect to how he would be in the New Hope. It's a bridge between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope, and I like that. It's not a necessary show, but I'm glad it exists. 19th place, we have Solo: A Star Wars Story. This is one of the most underrated Star Wars movies I've ever watched. This was not even on the question. When this movie came out, no one liked it. It was like don't watch this, and it was just unnecessary hate. Nowadays, it's a different story. Since all the Last Jedi hate is now sort of dissipated, people are looking at Solo now in a good way, and I like that. Because I always like Solo. I never dislike Solo. Even though it is kind of unnecessary, I still like the idea, and I wish there was a trilogy with it, but nope, unfortunately not. 18th place is Visions. This is a very interesting show, since each season is its own different thing, where seasons 1 and 3 are anime, while season 2 is more international. And with that, it may be difficult to rank this, but it's not, since the quality of the short from each season is really good. I understand, not everyone's into anime. I get that. I'm not into anime, but I like it. There's a lot of shorts in Visions that I really, really like. And so, that's why it's being placed here, because there's a lot of shorts throughout the entire thing that's really good. 17th place, we have the Clone Wars micro series from all the way back from 2003. This is constantly to Visions, where it's kind of like a collection of shorts, but the difference is that these shorts actually do tell a story that's in the same, universe. It's not in anthology saying, no. It's actually, here's a story. Well, Volume 1 is from the beginning of the Clone Wars, like the first 6 months, while Volume 2 takes place right before Revenge of the Sith. Now, this isn't canon anymore, but it doesn't mean it isn't good, because I really appreciate this more, because when I first watched it, I was like, that's kind of, it's not my thing. But as years went on, I'm like, this is actually really cool. It's really cool to just see these characters in like these crazy ass scenarios that can never happen in the main universe. This is a real cool thing. If you've not checked out this micro series, I recommend it. It's very, very cool. 16th place, we have Tales of the Jedi. This is the best of the Tales. I love Tales of the Jedi, simply because of the Count Dooku stories and how it explains so much of Count Dooku's character. Like, like his shorts do so much to, like, make his character way more interesting than he already was. Like, this doesn't need to exist, but having these stories being told is so interesting. And on top of that, having the Ahsoka stories, granted her as a baby is kind of sucks, it's the worst episode out of the 6, but the other two are really, really interesting. And I don't care about the whole, like, retconning of canon, because there's, like, one that does retcon something from the canon that's already been established. I don't care. These stories as they are really, really good. 15th place, we have The Force Awakens, and you might be saying, why is this high up on the list like this? What's going on? I have a lot of nostalgia for The Force Awakens and a lot of memories with it, but on top of that, the movie itself is really good. It gets overshadowed a lot by The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, but The Force Awakens is a really good movie because basically Luke is like the center of everything, and basically everyone, the Resistance, the First Order, they're both trying to find him, and there's like a bunch of people doing a massive hide and seek, like a treasure hunt, you could say, to Luke. 14th place, we have Jedi Fallen Order. This is the greatest, like one of the greatest EA Star Wars games out there, because it's so good, because this is like a refreshing game to play, because it's a really cool story of a Jedi, Cal Kestis, who survived Order 66, and you get to play as him, and him recovering what it means to be a Jedi, because he's a lost Jedi, and the story is about him finding what it means to be a Jedi again, and him coming to the occasion to fight the Empire, and it's so cool to see that. 13th place is The Mandalorian. This is kind of a weird show to rank, because of the fact that I don't know if there's going to be more seasons or not. I don't know. Right now, there's only 3 seasons. Season 1 and 2, phenomenal. Really good. Like, The Mandalorian is one of the most groundbreaking, most historic shows in the Star Wars history, simply because of how it redefined the current era of Star Wars. Like, The Mandalorian saved Star Wars. And I cannot thank the show enough for that. But Season 3 is not the greatest. I don't mind it. A lot of people hate it. I'm not here to say that's bad. I mean, I guess The Mandalorian overall is a really good show. And even though Season 3 is not the greatest, I don't think it ruins what the first 2 seasons have to offer. 12th place is Rogue One. This is a very interesting thing to place, because another show, a prequel to Rogue One, made this movie better. But in saying that, Rogue One in and of itself is still a really good movie. Now, I've learned to love this movie as time went on, rather than when I first watched it, back when it came out. Because, in my opinion, the first 2 acts, when I first watched it, were boring. The 3rd act's amazing. The Battle of Scarif, amazing. The Darth Vader hallway scene, amazing. Like, top-tier Star Wars. The first 2 acts are boring. But as time went on, I really started to appreciate the first 2 acts, regardless of any outside material making those first 2 acts better. But in the movie itself, I do like the first 2 acts, and how it does set up the characters, how you're in this new world, the stuff before the original trilogy gets underway. So it's a really cool movie, and obviously it is the best Disney Star Wars movie. 11th place is Jedi Survivor, and I love Jedi Survivor way more than Fallen Order. Like, Jedi Survivor is such a much awesome, greater sequel to Fallen Order. It takes Fallen Order, which is a really great game, a great story in itself, and it takes it to a whole nother level in Survivor. It's basically a self-referential story of Cal realizing that he's not the main character, so it's basically him trying to find the next thing he wants to do, and it leads him to finding Dagan Gera, who's like this Jedi from the old Republic days, the High Republic, and he lets him loose, and turns out he's actually not a good guy, and he's tearing havoc in the galaxy, and he has to figure it out. And there's also Tanalorr, which at the end of the story they go to. You know, he finds a new purpose again, and it's so good, and it's so, like, it's kind of like a fourth wall break, because the story is kind of like making fun of itself. Like Cal is obviously not the main character, really. Like, he can't, no matter what he does, the Empire will always, you know, do his due, and like, Cal can't stop the Empire on his own. He's not the main character, so he needs to find a new passion, and that's so cool. Number 10, we have the Bad Batch, and you'll be asking, why is the Bad Batch this high up? Why is it so special? And to be honest, it's more of a personal bias of mine rather than objectively being better than everything else I've talked about so far. Because I personally like these type of shows. I love these type of shows, like with the Bad Batch having, you know, it being, the show is basically just, here's the Bad Batch, go on adventures. But I like it. I really do. And now, a trope that the show does not do is that the Bad Batch do not fight with one another. You very rarely see them actually fight with one another, and that's a trope that I find very annoying in a lot of shows. And the Bad Batch avoids that completely. So these episodes are very straightforward. They're very fun, and it does continue the Clone Wars really well. It's made by the same people. So it's just, this is a great continuation of the Clone Wars. It's a great show, and has 3 solid seasons, and nothing really I can like criticize about it. 9th place, we have Rebels. Rebels is such a weird show for me, since, like, in the beginning, when I first watched Rebels, I didn't really care about it, but then I did care about it, and as time went on, I was like, I really like Rebels, I really do. Where the show shines is in the 2nd season and onwards. Like, the majority of the show is really, really good. It explores what the Rebellion was like, the original trilogy, and you have new characters, and the show does a really good job of creating a new world inside of Star Wars in which these characters can explore. Like, there's new ideas, new things that are hurting the franchise, and a lot of these things have been carried over into live action, with live action shows, mostly with the Ahsoka series, and overall, a lot of the episodes, even the filler episodes, I really enjoy. Like, most of the episodes in the show are so fun to watch, and they just feel like Star Wars. 8th place is Andor. This is the best Disney Star Wars project ever. It just is. It's the best. Best directing, best cinematography, best acting, just best everything. It's excellent. Everything about the show is excellent. It's so well done. Now, not everyone's going to like this. It's a slow burn show. I get it. If you don't like the slower pace, you want things to be more exciting, I understand that. To me, and I think to a lot of other people, they really like it. But being placed at 8th place, to some people, that's kind of high. I understand. But to me, I think it deserves 8th place of how excellent everything is, taking Cassian Andor as this sort of side character, not side, but just like, he's a fine character in Rogue One, but he becomes an iconic character in this show, which, that's a true testament. 7th place is Attack of the Clones. I love Attack of the Clones so much. I think it's a very, very well done movie that, over time, I just appreciate, because back in the day, I put this last place. Now, it's 7th place. And that's because I really enjoy the story of what the movie has to offer. Everything involving Obi-Wan, Camino, just everything involving Obi-Wan, like that entire thing, is fantastic. It's just peak Star Wars. And even the stuff with Anakin and Padme's love story, even though I, for a long time, didn't like that, I understand where George Lucas is coming from. I understand. And as time went on, I'm like, as I got older, I can see why people are into their relationship, and I can see why. And to top things off, the Clone Wars, the first battle, the Battle of Geonosis, that's awesome. I like, the best part of Attack of the Clones is the Clone Wars starting like the Battle of Geonosis, the lightsaber duel with Count Dooku. That's so cool, and I love Attack of the Clones. 6th place is The Phantom Menace. This movie has 2 sides. One side being more serious, more political-driven type of stuff, where you have politics on Coruscant, you have the blockade in Naboo, you have the Jedi Council, you have all the serious stuff, but at the same time, you have the more sillier stuff, mostly with Jar Jar, 9-year-old Anakin, the pod racing, and The Phantom Menace has both that stuff, both of the 2 extremes. I really like A Phantom Menace for that. It's a very unique movie, and every time I watch it, it doesn't feel like I'm watching a movie. It feels like I'm just watching the universe of Star Wars. That's how the best way to describe it. Like, just a really good movie that you can put on and just get immersed in. George Lucas did such a great job at introducing the prequel world, like what the Star Wars was like in the before times, before Luke and Leia were born. What was it like when Anakin was a 9-year-old? What was the galaxy like during this time period? And he did it so well, so great. So many things got started from this movie that are carried over and still being used to this day. Like, it's so, like, I really do appreciate The Phantom Menace. Fifth place is Return of the Jedi. And what I love about Return of the Jedi is how this movie not only is a good finale for the original trilogy, but also how the movie itself is actually really well structured, where a lot of people misjudge the whole Jabba part of the movie, because, like, the whole Jabba part is, like, it mirrors the end of the movie with Palpatine, because basically the original trilogy, like, the group, you know, Luke, Leia, Han, Lando, Chewbacca, like what they're doing in the beginning of the movie and end of the movie is the same thing. It's just they're on, like, it's just for the, you know, Battle of Endor, they're completely far away from one another, but they're doing the same thing as they were with on the sail barge during the whole Jabba part of the movie. It's poetry, you know? It's a good way to make everything matter, and it's important. And also, the movie itself is really good. Especially the ending of the movie is great. I feel like most of Return of the Jedi kind of is just a good movie, but then the end of the movie is really good with the whole Vader sacrifice, everything's Palpatine, the Battle of Endor. Like, that's when the movie really, really shines. I don't say the rest of the movie doesn't work, because it does work. Fourth place is the Clone Wars show. And what can I say about the show that I can add to? Because, like, I love the Clone Wars show. Ever since back, like, in the early 2010s, when the show got really popular, I was like, I really want to watch the show. But unfortunately it got canceled and I never got to watch it until I got Disney Plus, and I immediately went to this streaming service, and I just started watching the Clone Wars, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I was like, I love everything about this show so much. The early seasons I really like. A lot of people don't like the early seasons. I really appreciate them. Some really good arcs in there. But the main core, like, what the Clone Wars is special is from, like, season 3 to season 6, or even season 7. Like, there's basically like 5 seasons out of the 7 seasons that, like, they're, like, goated. Like every single episode is just so good. And, like, my favorite arc, if I had to really choose, like, my favorite arc of the show, it probably has to be the Umbara arc. The Clone Wars show overall, if you have not watched it yet, I don't know what you're doing. Go watch it. It's one of the greatest 3D shows based off a pre-existing franchise that I've ever seen. Third place is Revenge of the Sith. This is like one of my favorite movies ever, of how it starts off in the Clone Wars and ends with the rise of the Empire, and you can see how everything unfolds. Everything about Star Wars, and why I love Star Wars so much, can be found in this movie. The Revenge of the Sith, at the time, was the final Star Wars movie. Before Disney bought everything, this was the last big live-action theatrical movie. And this is a celebration of everything that came before. It's so cool how there's elements of all of the previous 5 movies in Revenge of the Sith, while simultaneously telling its own story, and it being really good on its own. And I absolutely love Revenge of the Sith. Like, almost every single scene works so well. Second place is A New Hope, and what can I say about A New Hope? After all these years, it's still my favorite movie of all time. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love A New Hope. I think it's a really good standalone movie, obviously, because at the time it was just one movie, and as its own, it's really, really good. And yeah, a lot of people criticize A New Hope because as time goes on, there's more new Star Wars stories that sort of have better, you know, editing, CGI, you know, this and that. I'm like, look, I still love A New Hope for what it is. I think a lot of people do. Like, this is like this is not a hot take. A New Hope's still a very popular movie. I know, like, with a lot of other stories, like with the prequels, the Clone Wars, you know, with Disney Star Wars, Mandalorian, that's sort of overtaken the discussion of Star Wars, but A New Hope is still a very relevant story. It's still a very positive story of fighting back against an empire. Basically, you or Luke can be the one to defeat the Empire, essentially, or a way to look at the story. And of course, first place is The Empire Strikes Back. this is one of the it goes beyond like S tier, because The Empire Strikes Back, from the second it starts to the second it ends, is movie magic. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Like, every time I rank this, I keep saying that it is the greatest movie of all time. Like, 'cause I know what else I can say about this I haven't already said already. Since The Empire Strikes Back is just that good. Like, as time goes on, nothing changes about it. Everything about this is iconic. This movie spawned so many other stories. What with the introduction of Yoda, Hoth, just Darth Vader being a threat in general. Like, he's way more intimidating in The Empire Strikes Back than he was in New Hope. Like, he's way more of a threat. Like, what people imagine Vader is originated from this movie. You have Cloud City, you have all the, you know, the iconic I'm your father. Like there's so much stuff in this movie that other stories take, that even if you aren't a Star Wars fan, you know, if you're the one who never watched Star Wars and watched Empire Strikes Back for the first time, you go, oh my god, my favorite thing from when I was a kid or now originated from this movie. Holy crap. And that's crazy how much stuff got influenced by The Empire Strikes Back alone. So because of that, I have to place it first place. Not only do I think it's a perfect movie, but it like, everyone else agrees. Like I can't, no one's gonna disagree with this. That's another rankings down the books. I love doing these rankings every year. They're so much fun to do. I love doing these. And it's so cool to see how many new entries there are. Cause I believe this year is like 3, maybe 4. I don't know. It's hard to count. But there's a couple new entries from last year, which is cool. And I really love doing these. I'm going to end things here. Do you agree or disagree with what I have to say? Because there's a lot of things that I said that you probably don't agree with, where I rank stuff, where I place stuff. You can give your list down in the comments down below. Because I'm going to end things here. I'm going to go now. So, goodbye, everyone.